Why is awareness only linked to sensations in this body? Questioner.
I just found your website. I stayed up late last night reading most of your articles. Thank you for the generosity. The teaching comes through with warmth and clarity. Because you are able to get right to the core of things, I was hoping you could answer this question that keeps arising. Why does my true nature, awareness, only link to the sensations of this body and mind? There is awareness of this stomach gurgling, but not of the body next to this body. This body's hand can be willed to move, but not the cat's paw. There is awareness of a sore throat sensation in this body, but not in others. The thoughts of this mind are apparent, but not the thoughts in other minds. It appears that there is a purposeful duality within non-duality. This question keeps fueling some residual doubt and confusion, so I would appreciate any light that can be shed on it.
There is often a subtle confusion between sense perception, thinking, and awareness. However, it is not ultimately necessary to ferret this all out. What is arising for you is an intellectual question. It is generated in and by the mind, that is, at a conceptual level. The fact is that you exist and are aware. You cannot deny this at any time. All sensations, thoughts and feelings, and any objective experiences at all appear in this awareness that you are. The objects come and go. They cannot possibly be the essence of you. The concept of being a person, an entity in the appearance, is a fiction. This is the source of all suffering. Once this is seen through as being untrue, you experience directly an immense peace and inner certitude, which is basically the result of clear self-knowledge. The resolution of intellectual conundrums and philosophical questions does not really lead to any direct peace or deep knowing, which is the real core of all this. However, I will hazard a few observations that may or may not be helpful. Granting the existence of appearances, the sense organs are necessarily limited in space and time. A set of eyes in one location cannot see what another set in another location can see. Within the appearance, sense perceptions arise and are known in the brain. Like sense organs, brains are separate in time and space. Thus, each brain can only know sense perceptions from the sense organs with which it is linked. It would be absurd to expect your brain to process information from someone else's sense organs. So, one immediate statement that could be made is that sense perceptions appearing in some other body don't arise in your body because your brain is not in that other body. So, within the appearance, sense organs and brains are localized in time and space. Ultimately, however, all sense perceptions and brain functions are just thoughts or mental phenomena. That is, appearances in the mind. Even the brain is a concept appearing in thought. So ultimately, everything is just a series of ideas appearing in awareness. Even time and space, and the entire manifestation of apparently separate objects are just appearances within awareness. All of the so-called others are just appearances in thought. It is similar to the case of a dream, in which all appearances, including other people, bodies, time, space, and so on, are in a single awareness. So, why does awareness seem to be localized in one body in the appearance? Basically, it is not. Is awareness localized to one figure in the dream, or is it the support of all the dream appearances and characters? Surely the latter must be the case. It is the same with the waking state. However, at the level of appearances, every experience is necessarily an appearance in time and space. Every such experience, by definition, must be localized because it is bounded by time and space. Awareness, however, is not in time and space, which are only creations of thought. Thoughts appear in awareness, so time and space are imagined within awareness. So in the question, why is awareness localized? There must be a subtle mixing up of awareness with something objective. Pure awareness cannot be localized because it is not an object in time and space, and it cannot be referenced in relation to anything objective. Why, then, am I only aware of objects connected with a particular body? Because the I that is asking the question is the mind, which is an object in awareness. The mind asking the question is in the appearance. Therefore, its experiences, as with all appearances, are localized. The confusion results from the mixing up of the mind or the relative subject with awareness. Why is awareness not aware of everything going on in everyone else's body? It is. There is only one awareness, just as in the case of the dream. There is only one awareness that illumines and infuses the whole dreamscape. Why cannot I know it? Because the relative subject asking the question is localized in time and space. You could as well ask, why does the dream subject not know all the thoughts, feelings, and experiences of all the characters in the dream? The answer is because, within the dream, he is only a limited part of the picture. A limited part cannot know the whole. The thinker, questioner, or doubter is not awareness, but rather a mentally fabricated pseudo-subject. This, in fact, is the heart of the metaphysical dilemma, the confusion of one's real nature of presence awareness with an imagined I or independent entity. A close examination of this reveals that the supposed individual entity is a myth. As I see it, bodies, thoughts, minds, and appearances are all swimming in one bright, vast, and unbounded awareness, just like every molecule of the dream is arising before the eye of a single conscious presence. In the appearance, all instruments of perception are limited by time and space, and so their field of relative knowing is also limited. However, all of this is just a series of musings and thought. It is speculative and provisional. In any case, you cannot deny your present existence and awareness. That is what you are, regardless of what the mind thinks or does not think. All doubts are in the mind. Awareness stands beyond, utterly certain and well known at all times. That is what you are. Understand that all doubts and questions are really for the imagined I, not for awareness. Seek for that I and see if you can find it. Then all questions are uprooted at the source.